Movietistic here. After 4 months, I decided I'm finally going to do a video. Most of the time I've been watching on thatguywithglasses.com. I've been watching like the Nostalgia Critic, Spoonie, that Tom Todd in the Shadows, and see how they do their craft, and I've learned a lot of helpful tricks. Aside from that, today I'm going to be viewing a movie that I have been looking forward to since last year. It's one of the 2 Snow White adaptations, Snow White and the Huntsman, starring Charlize Theron as the evil queen, Kristen Stewart as Snow White, and Chris Hemsworth as the Huntsman. This one is a lot more serious than Mirror Mirror from what I've seen trailers and whatnot. The story is about Snow White, played by Kristen Stewart, whose kingdom is overruled by the evil queen, played by Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron is basically an evil sorceress who, literally steals youth from women to keep herself beautiful. You see, and she's all powerful until one day her power starts to fade. She starts to grow older. Then she consults the spirit of the mirror, which I have to admit the special effect is incredible. Basically, he says the only way to remain young forever, you never have to suck out another person's youth or eat any hearts and whatnot, is that she has to eat Snow White's heart. And I thought to myself, is it just me, or did they rip off the same thing they did off of Stardust? You know, like for the witches, if they eat a star's heart, they grow young, but if a human eats it, they live forever. They basically combine those 2 aspects in this movie, which I have to admit is pretty clever. So, oh yeah, the story. So after that, the queen's brother, who is also under the spell, also tries to get Snow White from her prison after her father died, after Reneva, who is the queen's name, after she killed her father. She was placed in a dungeon, and everything in the kingdom is dead. Everything's disgusting, and the queen sucked the life out of the kingdom. And when Snow White was younger, it was all lush and beautiful. Now dead. Basically, she escapes, and I have to admit, and this part makes sense. She is running in the woods, escaping, and there's a horse in the middle of the forest. Pure coincidence? I think so. So basically, as you figured, the queen is furious and decides to hire somebody to get Snow White. So basically, she hires the Huntsman, played by Kristen Hemsworth, fresh from I think doing the Avengers, which is another awesome movie, which I couldn't review because it was so good. Saw it twice in the theater. So basically, she makes a deal with him, which is never fully explained. If he brings back Snow White, she'll bring back his wife, who died, back to life. What? And then, along the way, she meets back with William, who was the Duke's son, who escaped during the raid when they were younger. She meets with the 7 dwarves, and it's actually a good story. However, it does have a few problems. Thirdly, performance. The next we're going to go on to performances. Charlize Theron is fantastic during this movie. I mean, the wardrobe, gorgeous. Her acting is really good. There are some moments where she goes a little over the top, especially in facial expressions, especially when she yelled, "Where is she?" It's really good. It's really good. Now we get on to Kristen Stewart. A lot of people are going to be surprised at this. I actually thought she was really good. I thought she kind of redeemed herself in this movie. Yeah, there are slight moments where she, slips back into being Bella Swan from the Twilight movies. But other than that, she was really good. She was really, really good. She actually, she had, different emotions besides this as her face. I was really impressed. And obviously, Snow White, obviously, Kristen Stewart is not as beautiful as Charlize Theron, but hey, they're both beautiful in equal accounts. But Kristen Stewart, you kind of redeemed myself I have to admit, you redeemed yourself really good in this movie, but I'm hoping that this isn't just like for this movie. If you do other movies, I'm hoping you do really good in further films. Good to you. Good thing for you. Chris Hemsworth is fantastic in this movie. I like the fact that he makes the Huntsman, like he doesn't give a crap to anyone. He means business, but he has, because of the death of his wife, he's really heartfelt. But especially the scene where he's fighting like this random thug, and it's the only scene for me, I swear I thought I was watching Thor again. Literally, that whole scene where he's drunk, he's fighting outside the bar, he's completely drunk. But other than that, I have to admit, the voice he did for Thor actually fits the Huntsman. And the guy who does William, who also played the mercenary in Pirates of the Caribbean 4, he did really good. Despite the short time he had in the film, he actually didn't do that bad of a job. And everyone else did a really good job. Like the dwarves, to be fairly honest, I can only recognize 2 of the actors in the whole bunch. Ian McShane, who's also from Pirates of the Caribbean 4, and Bob Hopkins. He plays he plays one of the dwarves that are blind. Those are the only 2 I can recognize, and the dwarves, they are actually really funny. I like the fact that they don't appear a lot in a movie. I like the fact that they don't appear a lot in the film because they're just there for mild comedy relief. And other than that, the performances were really good. There were some uneven bits and whatnot, but other than that, it's really good. Now we get on to pros and cons. What I liked and disliked. What I liked about this movie: cinematography, fantastic. The way how it looks is phenomenal. But I thought to myself, well, heck, it's produced by the guy who did Alice in Wonderland by Tim Burton. Of course it's good. CGI. The fact that they did, and I found this very clever. When the evil queen, Reneva, Raven, well, with an A at the end, when she talks to the mirror, there's this this entity, shrouded in this liquid glass shroud. It's obviously a man. That guy did a really good job, despite the fact he had very little screen time. I found this to be very clever. When it's just herself, she's talking to this entity. But if you just, if you're a servant of something and you look in, it just looks like she's talking to the mirror. And I have to admit that was extremely clever because, to her, she's talking to the spirit, but if you're somebody else, it looks like she's just talking to herself, just adding to the narcissism of her character. Costumes, especially Charlize Theron, is just fantastic. CGI, especially how they made the actors, the dwarves, look short, even though how they made them the actual dwarf size was just really good. And let's see, the fight scenes were actually impressive, even though there were moments, a little too many close-ups. The fight scenes were well choreographed. And that's all the good. What I didn't like about this movie, and I'm gonna try my best not to go on a rant on this. Number 1, Snow White and the Huntsman. That title. You expect from that title that these 2 are going to get a lot of time together. Half of the movie, it is just, instead of developing their relationship, which the movie does, half of the time is focused on the evil queen. You're supposed to invoke sympathy. How can you invoke sympathy? She's drained the life out of the kingdom, a murderer to all birds. There's the first scene we see her in is the evil queen eating a robin's heart. That's disgusting. And killer of a lot of innocent women and children just for their beauty. How are you going to invoke sympathy from that? Second. And number 1A, this is for number 1. It spends most of the times on the drolls, it spends a lot of time in the other characters, but not enough on Snow White and the Huntsman. Their names are the title of the movie. You gotta spend time on them, and then on the secondary characters. It doesn't work the other way around. Number 2 it drags a lot, and I mean a lot. Like the scene where Snow White enters this part of the dark forest called Sanctuary. It's like Eden almost. Everything's lush, everything's green, whereas the dark forest is all dead and brittle. Okay, I know it's meant for beautiful cinematography, but just don't drag out as much. It's just you cut out a little bit of the footage from that scene, and the movie would have been a lot shorter. And I have to agree with Filmmaster / Adam J again. Half of the movie is just coincidence, like the first one. She finds a horse in the middle of the woods. Strike one. During when the Huntsman and Snow White are being chased, they find like this remote village in the forest where these women and children scratch themselves so that way the queen wouldn't get their beauty. Coincidence that that village was there. Number 3, strike 3. When the village gets attacked, the Huntsman supposedly has a change of heart and goes back. 4th, and most importantly, Snow White gets tricked by the queen, turns herself into William, and kills her with the poison apple, homage to the story. We suppose because William is like her childhood friend, you suspect that his kiss would work. It doesn't. When she's in the cathedral, lying there on the bed, looking like an angel if you ask me, the Huntsman actually confesses his love to Snow White. So it's his kiss that wakes her up, not William's. The Huntsman fell in love, Snow White fell in love with the Huntsman. This appears near the end of the film, and it is never fully developed, it's never fully explained, and yeah. And another thing too, I literally thought, and another coincidence, just as the evil queen is about to kill her, by pure luck, she stabs her with a dagger and shows her her real form, like this brittle old woman. Yeah, Snow White's father married an old woman. And I literally thought that she was looking into the mirror. I literally thought that the spirit was going to come out of the mirror and proclaim, "You're the fairest of them all." I was literally looking forward to that. And also, the dwarves, they serve no purpose other than comic relief, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. There are actually some funny moments with them. But other than that, they have no purpose. What else? Snow White acting like a total awesome, like being really BA. This appears near the end of the film. Most of the time she's acting very desperate. She needs the Huntsman to help. It starts at the very end. And again, I wish I was fully explained, but the last thing that kind of drove me crazy was the fact that after Snow White gets nominated as queen, she's just staring out in the audience to the Huntsman, who looks back, and she still thinks she's in love with William. It's the Huntsman's kiss that awoke you, not William. What? So, final thing, is Snow White and the Huntsman a bad movie? No. It had, like a lot of films, it has its problems. Even the greatest movies have their problems, and it's actually not that bad. I slightly agree what Rotten Tomatoes said on the pacing isn't that good. There are some things in the script that make a lot of sense, and there are times when the acting is a little out of balance at times. So other than that, this is a really good film. If you're a big fan of action and fantasy, it's not that bad of a film, and new to my videos, a rating out of 1 being really bad, 10 being really good. Snow White and the Huntsman gets a, let's see, 7 out of 10. 7, in my opinion, 7 being average. Not good, not bad, just being okay. See you guys, this is Movietistic here. Put comments on the bottom, don't go too crazy. I'll see you guys around. I will be posting new stuff. And I will hopefully I'll see you guys around. I will not be as long as 4 months this time, and I'll see you guys around. Bye!